Now this isn't quite to scale, you know, but it's the best I can do. This is as high tech as I get here. The idea is to roll the Bronco back over, right? While we have access to the Bronco in front and the rear, but we need to roll it sideways. So the only thing we could do was to find something anchor off this hill over here. Has a winch, so he pulled up behind me, and we ran his cable out to a tree, a small tree. It was more like a bush. That's all there was out there. There was nothing but brush and rocks, and that's the only thing we could find to anchor off of. So we tried tying off to that and then onto the Bronco. Well, that was good for pulling the tree out of the ground, but did not get the Bronco up. It moved the Bronco over, so it wasn't as, it was a little more stable now. It was more over on the trail, but we need to roll it over, not just pull it over. So once the tree pulled out, we were pretty much dead in the water. There was nothing, not a whole lot we could do. All right, so at this point in time, I'm like thinking, well, I'm screwed. I don't know what we're gonna do. We need a bigger vehicle or a bigger winch or a couple of winches or a couple of vehicles and somehow, you know, snatch block and all that stuff. And it was getting dark, or it was dark, I think. So we decided to head on back, and we'll have to come back again tomorrow. So you think I'm feeling bad about rolling? I'm feeling really bad about having to leave it there. So we headed on back down the trail, and on our way out, we ran into several other people up there looking for the guy with a rolled Bronco. Hey, that's me. Yeah, we were coming down, and they were coming up. There must have been 6, 8 vehicles. It was guys from High Desert 4x4 Recovery. They saw my post on Facebook, and all these people showed up out there to give me a hand, so I really appreciate you guys showing up. So we gave it another shot and headed on back up. I'm on the trail like that, and I roll it over on its side, and there's not much holding me from going off all over the edge here. So we could get behind it, we could get in front of it, so we had some trucks come up from the front, and we had the Bronco come up from the rear. This is the Jeep Cherokee Mike was driving from High Desert Off-Road Recovery. He parked it over here a little bit up this hill. Hopefully that's in the picture there. And we're going to run a winch off his vehicle sideways, side pull it over to the frame, and then back to the Bronco over here. And the Bronco is going to be anchored off to a Suburban that was behind him, and try to get the Bronco over. Try to get my Bronco rolled over. So anyway, we tried something like this. This guy had his vehicle anchored onto a rock up on the hill there to keep it from sliding sideways, but it was still starting to slide as he was trying to pull me over. It was just a bad angle, and although the vehicle did move up a bit, it would not get past a certain point, and he pulled and pulled till finally something snapped. I think it was the roller on his winch, because something went bang and he lost all power. His lights, everything went off. So we were like, we were down to like, now what are we gonna do? We tried digging out underneath the tires. We still had tension on the winch, but it would not go over anymore. It was more stable now. So we were kind of like running out of issues. Running out of things. What were we gonna do? Sucked. Now we're hitting on probably 10, 11 o'clock. So while the Cherokee's trying to figure out what's wrong with his electrical system and his winch, find out what popped, what went bang, we came up with this idea of seeing if we could bury a tire up on this hill over here. Luckily the ground was soft enough. I didn't dig it. One of these guys volunteered, ran up there and started digging. Grabbed his spare tire. I unspooled my winch out of the Bronco. And then we ran it up the hill. We buried the tire into this hillside over here and tied the winch onto it. So now, I don't know whether you've ever seen the buried tire used as an anchor before, but yeah, we used I believe the guy in the Suburban got his spare tire out and buried it in the hill up here, tied onto the winch cable. We wrapped the cable around the corner of the bumper for leverage, because we don't want to pull sideways, we want to roll it over. And we have just like bad angles. We're now pulling up the hill, you know what I mean? This hill is higher than the vehicle, so it'd be nicer if it was lower, it would have rolled easier, but that was the best we could do. We buried that thing and crossed our fingers that that tire didn't come popping out of the ground. And I had some electrical issues. My battery is pretty far gone, but it had enough power to run the winch and start pulling. It would pull a little, we got some tension, and it actually started pulling the truck up just by the freaking bumper there and the tension that was on with this other winch, which was now out of order. It got to a point, and then the winch, the battery would just wind down. It was like, oh man, come on, please, just a little bit more. So I'd let it rest a little bit and do it again, and move a couple more inches in. Let it rest again for a few minutes and then give it another try, and it barely moaned and got it, yes, please. Oh, jeez. It finally, one more try, man, it was over. Thank God. Thank you everybody that helped me get this thing over, because that was the main obstacle. It just blew, man, it blew. So unfortunately, that's not the end of the story. Although it is rolled over now, now the question is, will it start? As you can see, I still have the winch cable out. No need to roll it up there. What we want to do is be able to drive home. So this is how I ran the cable out. Ran it around the flare head here. You can see where it's all shined up. Over the bumper here and around the post, and then down to, or up the hill to the tire that was buried. I can't believe everything held up and that this actually worked. That it just blows my mind that I had enough power to flip it over by the bumper like that. And the tire didn't pop out of the ground up on the hill, and there's all kinds of other things that could have happened. So the next thing to do is check the fluids. It was a little low on oil, so we put a couple of quarts of oil. Guys volunteered oil. I didn't care what kind of oil. We put some oil in there. One guy had one of those jumper packs. We jump started it, and it started right up. Boom. Smoked a little, but at least it ran. He was running. I go, cool. I'm gonna be able to drive this thing out, right? Nope. No trans fluid. Had no forward, no reverse. All the trans fluid had come out. So now we're talking. It's about 11 o'clock. I think it was midnight. I think it was already midnight, and we still had what, 5 or 6 vehicles there. You know, I felt kind of bad. I mean, it's cold, it's windy, everybody wants to go home. Let's just go home. I'll come back tomorrow.